Good morning, guys. So it is day 3. So that means consistency training. Yes. What is you may be asking? And hopefully I was live while I was just talking. But consistency training, so when you are beginning to do finances and your life on track, well, you need to be consistent in things you do. So, what that looks like with financial success is just it's delving into what consistency training entails, which is defining. Sorry, my brain's not working this morning so well. Uh, so the power of repetition and building habits and positive building financial habits. Because, like I said yesterday, that if you are waking up and going to work, but you're making that morning stop for Starbucks or Caribou, and you're spending $9 every day on coffee, well, that's a financial habit that is not a good one. So we need to get out of that. We want to establish long term stability, which tomorrow is long term strategy for finances. But the main thing with consistency is repetition. So when you're getting into a habit forming for finances, repetition is key. Just keep doing it over and over and over again. And I believe it's 21 days of doing something before you start forming a habit. And that can be anything. Again, that could be negative habits, that could be positive habits. We want to get you started with positive habits. And there we go, as I use this hand to talk. But the fact is, you need to decide that you want this. You need to want financial success more than anything in the world. I just saw a thing this morning from Tony Robbins that only 9% of people stick with their New Year's resolution. Why? Because 91% of people say they want something, but they don't take the necessary actions to accomplish that. Where when you set a resolution, you are resolute, you want that. That is why only 9% of people stick with their resolution. Because, again, this comes down to what I've been saying all week: build that SMART goal. You have everything in place with that SMART goal. You know exactly what you want, how to get it, in what time. You know you can because it's realistic or relevant. And you just need to create a routine around that goal. So, with sticking with financial goals, you need to adapt to life changes, first off, because when you do something different, when you flip that script for a different lifestyle, things are going to change. The universe, God, whatever you believe in, is going to challenge you to see how bad you want it. And if you don't have that resolute, the resolution that you want it, that you need it, that you have accepted this is the only way life is going to be, any little challenge to that is gonna throw you off. You are gonna stop. You're gonna say, nope, throw in the towel, this is done. No. It's why you need to be consistent in everything you do that has to do with your financial goals. When challenges do come up, you need to shut that down. You need to recognize the potential obstacles and have strategies to overcome them. And that was another thing on Monday with my goal chart. that was a homework assignment. If you watched, did you do it? I want to know. Let me know in the comments if you did that homework. But I want to know, what were some challenges that you came up with that you could see happening? Because again, they're going to happen. You are being ignorant if you think challenges aren't going to rise. If you think everyone that has ever dreamed big just had unicorns and rainbows the whole way, you're being delusional, because that's not what happens. So you have to celebrate the wins too. So not only do you have challenges, but then when you have wins, which you will, and they're amazing, they're even better than you could ever imagine, because you set your mind on something and you accomplished it. So you need to celebrate that milestone. You need to acknowledge it to yourself, to anyone that's listening. You find, again, back to the goal chart, you find the person that you told that you were going to do this, and you tell them of your accomplishment. And you, again, it should be someone that's going to celebrate you, not someone that, if you get challenged, they're not going to say, I told you so, and make you even further want to quit. No, again, this is mindset stuff too. So it all intertwines. This whole week, this intertwines. There's a reason that all of this is like the main pillars that my 20-week coaching program is built on. So you need to know that there are going to be milestones that you reach that you want to, that aren't challenging. And like I say, it's hard before it's easy. And we need to celebrate those wins, because sometimes the little wins are all we have. When we're first starting out and it seems like no one cares, no one is listening, no one wants anything to do with what we are saying or doing, or everyone's against us, which isn't true, first off. But those limiting beliefs that pop into our heads, we need to shut them down. That's why celebrating the little things are so important. And you just have to engage with a community that shares similar financial goals. So again, coming from yesterday with the mindset that if you are surrounding yourself, like say I'm an alcoholic in recovery. If I'm going to the bar every night, hanging out with people who are just drinking, chances are I am going to have it in my head that that's going to be fine. And then that creates that slippery slope again, and off we are to the races. And on the same side of the coin, if you wouldn't hang out with a bunch of crackheads and be like, I'm not a crackhead and I'm not doing crack. No, why would you hang out with a bunch of crackheads doing crack if you're not a crackhead? So if you want financial security, financial success, everything to do with amazingness when it comes to finances, why are you going to hang out with people who have the broke mindset, the poor me people, the I can never get out of this people, those limiting beliefs that they just can't shake? And it sucks. I am friends with a lot of people like that, but I don't hang out with them constantly, because then what's in my head is going to be overrun by their thoughts, because one negative thought can outrule 1,000 positives. Think about it. If someone tells you you're ugly once, how many positive comments do you need to wipe out that ugly comment? And if that's not you, bravo. I am very happy for you. That is an amazing talent to have. Honestly, if you can push that out of your head and not just say that it doesn't bother you, but if it legit doesn't bother you, then you are stronger than most people and you can accomplish amazing things. But if that's not you, just think about that. And if you're sitting around talking with people that are constantly financially bashing you, it's not good. That is not a good place to mentally be. So, as we explore the intricacies of financial success, it's just crucial to understand the profound impact that habits have on our financial behavior and decision making. So, that's not even, I mean, now we're getting into the habit part. So, and it's as simple as making your bed in the morning. Because when you, like I said yesterday, I kind of look like the guy from Seven, the movie from the 90s or early 2000s, whenever that movie was, with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, where the serial killer has 9,000 notebooks. Well, I'm the notebook queen. So, with that being said, I write everything down. My I like making notes and making lists. And in the beginning of my sobriety, I would make a detailed list of from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed and everything that filled that. And the first thing I put on that was make my bed. Why? Because it's something that I got in the habit of doing that I can check off. And again, easy wins. Easy wins help us get through the day sometimes. If we're having a crappy day, if we're having a crappy day, then you can say, I accomplished something. Even if it's that small. Even if it's brushing your teeth. Something that you can celebrate the win. And again, it doesn't have to be huge. So just forming a habit like that is something that's amazing. And I love my cup from Las Vegas on the road trip. But anyway, so forming habits like making your bed are pretty much the architects of our daily behavior. Like I said yesterday, that your mindset is the foundation. Well, habits are the architect. So without the architect, you don't know where or like how life's going to look. So without habits, I mean, we are creatures of habit. If we don't have good habits, our habits dictate how we spend, save, invest, and approach money related decisions. So if that is out of whack, if it's not being kept, like if we're not keeping track of it and doing a good job of dictating how we spend, save, invest, then how do we know where the money's going? And this is the same with budgeting. If we don't budget and know where everything is going, then we need to get in the habit of knowing how to budget and save. And again, with consistency, adding money to investing and savings accounts, which again, my favorite high yielding savings accounts, mine gets me almost 6%. But that's another thing that we talk about in my 20-week course. So, which you can schedule a call with me anytime, free. We can talk about where your habits are leading you, where your mindset is leading you. And the crazy thing is that when you get into creating these financial habits, the ripple effect is amazing. So it extends beyond individual actions, that it actually influences broader financial patterns. It's impacting your overall financial health and contributing to the achievements of your long-term goals. Remember, short, medium, long-term goals. We've gone over those this whole week. So, what you do today can affect a goal that you have for 10 years from now. And that's another thing with the goal chart. What is something that you're doing today, tomorrow, Friday, that is affecting or that is going to go towards your long-term goal. So, building those habits can actually make your mindset change for the positive. Which, I mean, it's crazy to think, but everything's intertwined and how we think affects everything. So, if we are doing positive mindset and goals and all of that, then the fact that we are getting into those habits, like like I said, the ripple effect, it just affects everything. And if you wake up, make your bed, brush your teeth, work out for even 20 minutes, that sets the standard for your day because you are mindsetting with the positive and you're getting your body going after sleeping. And also, a great habit to start is drinking a glass of water before anything in the morning because you just fasted for however long you were sleeping and your body needs that lubrication to get going again. So, just again, building consistent habits, and you're ultimately, I mean, it might not seem like it, but you're ultimately shaping your financial future by it. Because, I mean, it's a reflection of your habits today. Positive habits, such as building that budget and saving and investing and getting your mind right. And it's all the groundwork for a stable and prosperous financial journey. So, with that also being said, like you need to align your habits with your personal values. So, habits rooted in the financial values aligned with your broader life values. I mean, this aligns, creates a harmonious relationship between your financial goals and your personal aspirations. So, I mean, again, again, goal chart right on there. I ask you, what is your goal? What value is your goal helping you achieve? So if you want to save $100,000 in the next year, well, do you want to do that so your kids can go to college or you can buy a house? Or do you want to do it just so you can feel rich and show off to people? Like, what value are you putting on that money? How do you value money? And sorry, I think I'm getting a cold, not allergies at this point. So, and my brain just kind of shut off. I always talk about budgeting as a fundamental habit because in the early days, when you don't know how to budget, when you know how much is coming in, but you don't pay attention to what's going out, it's very difficult to write down every cent, every dollar that is going out and how you need to keep track of that. So that is why budgeting, no matter where you are with your finances, that is number one. There are a lot of number one keys, but that is like week one of my program is budgeting. And I don't care if you are a multimillionaire, if you're making $1 million a month. I don't care because I will make you do a budget, just so you know, if you sign up with my course. Because you need a change, you need to do something different. And if you think that budgeting is beneath you, but yet you're living paycheck to paycheck, making $1 million a month, which that would be something. Yeah, so it might seem trivial and stupid, but it works. It works if you work it. That's why budgeting is a superpower with finances. And I mean, here, let's say this. You can do everything I am teaching you, even in this free stuff. You can take it, grasp it, do it on your own. Sure. Yes. 100%. You can do your finances 100% on your own, but how likely are you to continue? Are you going to be part of that 91% that does it for a week and then quits? Or are you going to be part of that 9% that you continue even without the coaching, um, accountability and the accountability of your peers who are in the exact same boat as you? Or, yeah, I mean, but you can 100% do this on your own. You can open a Roth IRA. You can open a high yielding savings account. You can start investing in a S&P 500. You can do all that stuff on your own. But how likely are you to, one, understand what you're doing, two, like truly know what you're doing? I mean, YouTube, you can watch everything, anything, and learn. But do you want to take that long to learn and know and do? Or do you want to follow in my footsteps where I have 9 years of financial experience in doing this stuff and I can get you to where you want to be very quickly? That's the benefit of following someone who's been in your footsteps before, and you're following my footsteps, so you can just pick up the tidbits that I've learned throughout the years. And not only when you're, I kind of, if you haven't gotten by now, I bounce around, and that's probably from the brain damage from drinking. But yeah, so I'm very much squirrel when it comes to talking. If you've seen me lecture at inpatient treatments on budgeting and debt and stuff, I am all over the place usually. But so I know I go into long-term strategy, that's tomorrow's, but you need to start thinking about investing in your long-term strategy and building the habits that are going to help you, because long-term strategy means it continues even after the 20-week course if you sign up with me, when you sign up with me. So when you are completed with that, I do have another course after for investing and retirement and everything, which I do touch on that stuff in the 20-week course, but I go more in depth after. But you need to think about the fact that this isn't a quick fix. So, I mean, yeah, you can make a high yielding savings account, you can make a Roth IRA, both in under an hour. But if you just make it and you aren't consistently putting money into it, then that long term strategy doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you open it and put 50, 100, 3,000 into it. If that's all you do, you put that money in and then forget about it. Yeah, you're going to make some compound interest, but it's not going to grow exponentially like having that long-term strategy and growth. And again, tomorrow, but I just thought I'd touch on it today. So another thing, like as far as completing, I know I said about debt, talking to inpatients, but that is another aspect of consistency and financial work, is your debt management. There's a reason that your credit card goes by monthly statements, because you're supposed to be paying that off in monthly statements. And you need to get on a consistency plan of paying that off monthly by monthly, and hopefully not just the minimum, because if you're paying the minimum, your $3,000 credit card debt is going to take you roughly about 15 years if you're paying the minimum. And just think of all the interest you're going to be paying. Like one of my cards, if I let it sit there month to month and only paid the minimum, it's 29% interest. That is a lot. That is a lot of interest each month. That is useless money that I might as well be just flushing down the toilet. So you don't want that. You want to develop a responsible habit of paying off your credit card as soon as you get that statement every month. And you just have to prioritize your personal goals. Because, I mean, a lot of people, I'd say more people than not, have credit cards. And if that's your personal goal of paying off your credit cards, well, that's something that I make a point of doing for you. Well, I don't make I teach you how to do it in my 20-week course, which I haven't even launched yet. FYI. I am pre-enrolling people at the moment for my 20-week money mindset reset. So again, I am taking hold on. So I am going off topic, but I am pre-enrolling people for my 20-week course that I am getting ready to launch coming up. So if you wanted to get on a 45-minute free consultation call, discovery call, whatever you want to call, it's free. We can go over some of the aspects of your finances and see where you are at. I will include more information. I'm always posting about it. Yeah, something to kind of think about if you are looking for that extra accountability and help, and what I am saying is resonating with you and you think this would be beneficial for you. I mean, it's beneficial for everyone. It's just the matter of if you're going to listen, take it to heart, and if you want to be part of that 9% of people who accomplish the resolution and realize that if you don't change something, nothing's going to change. The only way your life is going to change for the better is when you realize that you are the only one standing in your way. And again, that has to do with mindset. You have to get rid of the limiting beliefs, like shut that down, because there is nothing holding you back except yourself. If you're telling yourself that I will never be rich, well, then you won't. It's that simple. And you need to consistently, today's topic, consistently tell yourself that you can do anything, because you can. You can do anything. You are meant to be extraordinary, not just ordinary. And you need to create a consistency training plan. What does that entail, Holly? Well, I'm glad you asked. So, a consistency training journey for financial success requires personalized approach. So, what that means is self-reflecting and goal setting. And your homework yesterday was doing some self-reflection. Did you do it? I'd love to know. Again, comment below. Or if you're watching this from the replay, hit reply to my email and it goes directly to me. I do not hire anyone to read those. It is me. But if you just begin to reflect on your financial goals and values and where you're at and like what your long-term and short-term aspirations are, which I don't think I really touched on aspirations, but if you aspire for greatness in life, then you need to put in the work to get there. It doesn't just happen. I mean, it seems like it for some people, but just like Facebook, you are seeing the real of goodness and not REAL. You're seeing the triumphs and the good times. Most people don't air their dirty laundry, and some people do. And the people that do air their dirty laundry, typically people don't want to see that. So it's looking at the fact, looking beyond what you're seeing at face value and what you want to accomplish. When you set clear, achievable goals that serve as the foundation for your consistency training plan, that's when you're going to see things go further. And you need to identify your financial habits. Like, what strengths do you have? What strengths could you improve? What weaknesses do you have? What weaknesses can you improve? And just like yesterday, where I was talking about challenges and what you can change and what you can't change, well, what financial strengths do you have? What habits do you have that you can change and that you can't change? And you need to prioritize those based on your goal. So if your goal is, again, to make save 100,000, well, what is a strength for that? What is a strength for saving 100,000? Like, can you do it? I mean, sure, if you're making the kind of money that you can save that, I mean, it's literally possible. Sorry, literally possible. But are you going to be able to do it? Are you going to make it a priority to put that 8,333 and 33 cents into your savings account each month? Are you going to do that? Because that is prioritizing that end game, that short-term goal, because it's just in the next year. That is making it a priority. If you have it on an auto transfer, that is a consistency training. That is a great foundation to have. And if that's something that you don't see as a strength for yourself, then it's something you need to work on. And when you break down your goals into manageable steps, because a dream written down becomes a goal broken into steps becomes a plan, and a plan backed by actions could make any dream come true. And it's really that simple. And while I say finances are simple, but they're not easy, that's what I mean. Like, you have to want it. What is your number? When I say that, I mean, are you at 0 where you're kind of like, maybe next year? Or are you at 10 where you're like, I need this yesterday, I need help now? So when you get to that 10, I'd say even like 7.5 or more, you are ready to write that dream down, to try to accomplish it. And there's really not even try. You will accomplish it when you do all these steps that I'm talking about. And like I said, they're simple. They are simple to understand. They are simple to do. It's just they're not easy. It's those challenges, it's the mindset, it's the limiting beliefs. It's not an easy thing. And that's also why creating a consistency calendar is another valuable asset to do. And I mean, it outlines when and how you'll practice each financial habit, meaning, like, are you putting money on auto transfer from your bank account into your savings? That would be something that you'd write on your calendar, or due dates for credit cards. And it's just pretty much a calendar that you use for finances. And I mean, this day and age, everyone's sending you calendars through the mail. It could be just some stupid calendar from the tire place down the road, which I've gotten like 5 of them for 2024, which, yeah. You don't need fancy things for this. Or, I was talking about vision boards. You could make your own calendar with everything that you want to accomplish in the next year. Hey, look at that idea. But I mean, also, as far as the calendar, setting alarms and reminders to transfer things. Like, I mean, if you're looking at it and $8,333.33 is a lot in 1 month, cut it by week. Some people like that more. Or if you're trying to save $500 a month, well, then you could do 125 each week. And that seems a little more doable to some people. I personally like it coming out in the bigger chunk, but some people, I mean, maybe your finances just can't allow that. And you get paid bi-weekly, so maybe $250 each paycheck goes into savings or a Roth IRA. But just having those reminders and alarms and the calendar, that's going to get your financial consistency and mindset and habits starting to go. And again, within 21 days, you're going to just realize that you're doing this on autopilot sometimes. But then also, like with my course, you have the accountability of others. So not only from me, but your fellow course mates. And just like I said with the goal chart, you want people in your corner who want to watch you win. So if you're hanging out with crackheads, they're probably not the best accountability people, because I know in the past crackheads are not very accountable. And I hope you don't take offense to that. But it's just unfortunately how drugs are. And it doesn't even have to be crack. Just with addiction, that's where our mind is. Our mind turns us very selfish. And you might be thinking, oh, I wasn't selfish in my addiction. But look back. Look back if you're at a good place and truly take inventory, and you might realize something. Anyway, that was squirrel moment. But I mean, you just have to be accountable, not only with others, but with yourself, and have some flexibility, because again, challenges are going to arise. And I mean, unexpected events or shifts in priorities without derailing your overall consistency training is why we do this training. So you have like the road map and pathway and everything. I mean, that's why I named this challenge Financial Pathways, so you know where you're going. And this is supposed to help you get to where you're going. And I mean, just like everything else, this is going to take some time. This isn't a change your life in one day. I mean, the journey of 1,000 steps starts with one. So while starting a habit today might not seem like anything important today, tomorrow, even next week, eventually you're going to start seeing the changes that this brings and how amazing those changes are. And when you realize that you are adopting new financial habits, it transforms you. The fact that, like, where I look at myself when I came into sobriety this last time, 2 years and 3 months ago, I can't believe how far I've come. And that's even knowing what to do with my finances. And if you're just starting out, taking an interest and Like, you want this. You are a 10. You want to learn how to save and start a high yielding savings account and a Roth IRA, and you want to plan for your retirement and all this stuff. You want to be financially successful and have that wealth mindset and all the things. Like, you will accomplish it. I promise you, if you sign up with my course and you do the work, you listen, you are accountable, you do all of this stuff, you will accomplish your goals. I promise you that. Because what I have works if you work it. And the only thing is going to be you standing in your way. And that leads me into something else, that you have to overcome the resistance to change. People are creatures of habit, like I said earlier. If you can't change, well, people who can't change die. Because, I mean, you could live to be 100, but if you are incapable of changing, that's going to be a miserable existence. So, I mean, that's such an important thing too. I mean, everything's important, but you have to understand and truly understand that change is key. Like I said, there's a lot of keys with this, and they all open different doors. But ultimately, I'm giving you the master key because I think everyone should have it. And when you're building new financial habits, again, that resistance to change is going to come. Like, so many people face resistance because it changes their routines and behaviors. And that's such a major thing that I see happening in, like, people not wanting to do the work because it's uncomfortable. It is getting you out of that comfort zone. But in getting out of the comfort zone, that's where we prosper. No one ever prospered in the financial comfort zone, or in any comfort zone for that matter. And I mean, when you feel overwhelmed, which again, that's going to happen. If you're looking at your debt and you feel overwhelmed, the prospect of adopting multiple habits at once can be overwhelming. And it's just something that you need to break down again into small steps. And you can do anything if you go step by step. When you're looking at the end game, it can get very overwhelming. And that's why I'm here to help you go step by step. And that's also why my course is not all 20 weeks open at once. It is a module at a time over 20 weeks. So hopefully by the time you get to module 2, you have a good understanding of module 1, and then so on and so forth. And that's how I like to try to cut back on the overwhelm. And I mean, another resistance to change challenge that could pop up is the external influences. And I mean, social expectations or peer pressure. Like, going back to, you are who you hang out with. And that's why I think the accountability and having the peers in your corner that are going through the exact same thing are so important. That's why I have a Facebook group specifically for people in my course, so that you can be part of this Facebook group, but then also the Money Mindset Reset group, which is specifically for you if you join my group, or if you join my course. And it just, that way I have learned that you can get feedback from each other if I'm not just available, and it is so beneficial. And I mean, small gradual changes. That's all it takes. I mean, again, the Grand Canyon was not formed overnight, and it was formed with just water and rock and wind and sand. And look at it now. I mean, at one point, it was all just flat. And unless you want to remain flat, yeah. I mean, I want you to focus on consistency, not perfection. When you are doing the steps and working the program, I sound like I'm doing AA, but when you are doing everything, doing the work, it's about consistency. It's not about perfection because no one is perfect. And just like I say, everyone starts at zero. Even if you're a trust fund baby, well, you might not have learned how to handle that money. That's why if you look up I'll talk about this more tomorrow too, but the Vanderbilts used to be one of the richest families in the US, same as the Rockefellers. Well, nowadays, the Rockefellers are still around. Where are the Vanderbilts? We will talk about that more tomorrow. But just knowing that you can do all things and it's difficult, and accepting that it's difficult and knowing how to move on from that. And it's just consistency work. And I am starting to get to the time that I need to wrap things up. But I mean, like I said, that tracking progress and celebrating milestones, no matter how small, it's so important for you to do because life is going to kick you in the shins and knock you down. And if you are not realizing those small milestones that lead up to a great big awesome adventure, financial, everything, it's going to seem like a lot more difficult than it needs to. And I mean, with today's apps, you can get motivational tools and apps to monitor different things and set everything up for the consistency. And it's just amazing. Like, if you tried doing this even just 20 years ago, it would have been so much more difficult. But this is the day and age for doing this stuff. And I mean, when you set clear milestones, like you establish clear milestones within your consistency training plan, you are going to be unstoppable. And you need to learn that there is greatness within you. And as long as you're taking all those steps to accomplish your greatness, you, again, are unstoppable and you are meant to be extraordinary, not just ordinary. And I am proud of you for being here. And I actually had a couple people send in questions. So, because they knew they wouldn't be able to watch this. So, I figured I'd go over a couple since there are no comments of asking questions yet. So, one is, why is consistency training important in achieving financial success? So, like I've said the last almost hour, consistency training is going to be crucial because it forms the habits that lead to sustained positive financial behavior. While, like, I mean, you can do all of this without the consistency training, but it's going to be a lot more trouble than it's worth, probably. That's how it's going to end up seeming in the end. So, I mean, you need that foundation for the long-term financial success to form those habits. How can consistency training contribute to a positive mindset about money? Well, yesterday I talked for over an hour on mindset, and the consistency training creates a positive mindset by reinforcing the idea that small, consistent actions lead to positive outcomes. So when you have that positive mindset, you are unstoppable. And I would hate to be the person that got in your way. When your mindset and your consistency training and your goals, and you will find out tomorrow, your long term strategy, when they all are in alignment, that is when miracles pop up and happen and God works wonders. And it's just outstanding. And let's see, going on to the next question. What role does adaptability play in consistency training? Yeah, so I mean, adaptability is key in consistency training because of the challenges and circumstances. And I mean, life is dynamic, life can be a bitch. So you need to be adaptable and work through the challenges and know that you can come out on that other side because life is going to throw you stuff. Life is going to throw you lemons, might throw a wrench, might just throw a bunch of stuff at you. And if you don't have that adaptability, it's going to be difficult. Again, not impossible because life is never impossible. Things just might take a little more time. So, with that, I will end on your homework assignment for day 3. So, I want you to set a specific and achievable financial goal for the next month that aligns with consistency training. So, that could mean, are you setting a budget? Are you setting savings, investing, debt management? I want you to go back to your goal chart and fill out all 7 boxes for one goal on being consistent or something that aligns with being consistent. So you have to make sure that it is a SMART goal that you can achieve, that the T for SMART, timely, is going to be a month. And I would love to hear what your SMART goal for consistency training is. And on that, I will let you go and I will see you guys later. You have a wonderful rest of your day.